Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Sylvia and I make videos on planning with the occasional review. Today's video is going to be about how I plan on habit tracking for 2021, some freebies, and how to print them. So let's talk about what I've been using over the past year for habit tracking. Most of us in the planner community have tried out this insert by Paper and Cats. It was a collab with Ink Imperfections here on YouTube, and it's been pretty great. It allowed me to see that I could track weeks, months, and even dailies all in the same place. However, the struggle is still real. So let's talk about what some of the struggles might be with habit tracking. Usually it's how easy is it to do? How convenient is it for you? When you are a planner addict like me, and I know there's a lot of you out there, I'm not alone, it's really hard because you like to move from planner to planner. You like to change things up. Maybe it's every month. Sometimes it feels like every week for me until I get into a system that really works for me. So as you can imagine, I have this in every size, including wide size, which I thought I was going to be in at the beginning of this year, but I decided to nix that idea for a pocket size, which I do have, but I have not printed out yet because I was like, man, I really need to try something else. So the issue isn't that this doesn't work. I like it. It just doesn't work all of the time. And sometimes, like I mentioned, I need more space for the weeklies. Sometimes I need more space for the monthlies. And sometimes I don't want to, day track at all. So I really needed something that was a little bit more flexible for my habit tracking. So I did come up with deciding that this year I was going to print on Post-its. Now I like the idea of Post-its because they are small. I am printing on these 3x3 Post-its, and I want to let you know, in case I forget later, that these are super sticky Post-its. So let me know down below if you use these on your Tomoe River paper, because I will let you know that I have left it on the paper I actually print on, and I'm not sure if that's because my printer heats up. It's a laser printer, and it really heats up the adhesive on the back of these, and so it really sticks, and I can't leave it on the actual paper that I use as a template to print on. So let me know how it works. I'm concerned that if I pull it off my Tomoe River paper, I'll probably just have to try it out. I just haven't thought about it yet. I'm concerned that it's going to really wrinkle or rip the page, because when I do leave this on the printed template and I pull it up later, it was leaving some of the page on there, like it was ripping up the page, sort of like when you have old stickers and the backing is kind of on the back and you have to kind of scratch it off, and it's just a hot mess. So just be aware of that. So back to the Post-its I have printed on. They can fit in a pocket size, so this is a pocket size, and even a passport size very easily because the Post-its are 3x3. I can fit 2 to a page or just 1. It's really simple to keep them all in one place, so you have your tracking all in one place. And if you need extras or more of one or the other, you can always replace them very easily and not have to worry about printing out an entire insert. I did at some point in here, I've already archived it. I did print one of these out just back to back. It was one sheet, and use that for December just because I could not handle printing out an entire insert. You can see here that I did because I thought, okay, I can do this. I think this is where I want to have it. But then I decided again, sometimes I struggle with not having enough space for the monthly things. I have made 2 monthlies that I think will work out. So I'm not saying that I'm not going to try to use this or continue to use it. I'm just saying that I think it would be really great to pair this with some sticky notes. So you can see here that I do have a monthly, and I will go through each one of these and show you how I plan on using them and how you may use them. Or, if you find a new way, let me know down below. But this monthly, I can go ahead and I can stick it in this insert, even in the back here on this plastic. This is a dashboard. It's a B6 dashboard by Foxy Fix. I cut down to be personal size. But I can go ahead and stick this on the back and have some more space for monthly things because maybe I don't need to track that much weekly. And again, you could go ahead and write in here monthly for these last 3 or 4 columns or rows rather, and go ahead and do that and alter the insert to work for you. But sometimes I think sticky notes work best. And sometimes I don't even want to look at this, because that happens occasionally. I get over a planner and I move into something else for like the month. I forgot I should bring this back for one more minute. This is going to be my housely and billing information. So anything that had to deal with the house, especially things that I needed to pay for and cleaning, that's what I thought I would go ahead and keep in this, because it's also my wallet. So grocery lists and things like that go in here as well. And so sometimes I need a monthly insert like this that doesn't have any planner, not planner, but house related things. Like I just want it for like social media, or maybe just specifically for my writing. And then again, that's me, you know, printing out more than one of these and maybe not sticking in that size for those specific categories. So again, I think that the thing that's going to work best for me this year are Post-its, because I can add it to any insert that I already have, or I can just go with the Post-it itself. So moving on to the Post-its themselves, I wanted to mention that this is the acetate that I use. It's not the highest quality of acetate, but you can get a lot of them. And I like to use these to put my sticky notes on and house them until I need to use them later. I also put these inside of my traveler's notebooks and journals and planners as dashboards. I cut them down and I keep my sticky notes housed on this. Because there's a lot of them printed out at any given time, I like to keep these next to my inbox in a file folder just like this, so that I know where they are, and anytime I need some extra ones, I can just go and take them from there. So let's start with the dailies. So the dailies look like this, and I was able to use a longer line so that you could put down, like, if you're just returning phone calls or you need to email someone and you need to put a name, there's plenty of space there. And then a check mark for when you have done that. You can also use these for a daily routine that you're trying to get into the habit of. You can go ahead and write down time and what the task is, and if you did it for the day. Right here we have the weekly, and I'm sorry if it's a little dark in here. I think because of the bright Post-it colors, the iPhone is having some struggles adjusting. So it is pretty bright in here, but if it's a little dark, that's why, so bear with me. So this is how the weeklies look, and yes, I did not print them, but I did go ahead for all of my Sunday start people out there and made a Sunday start. So this one is the Monday start, but you will get a PDF for both in case you are one over the other. So this is just kind of in the Alistair method, which I love, where you can put a task over to the side, and then you can come over here and check off what day you did it on, or what day you want to do it on. You can go ahead and put a dot in there like you would in Alistair method weekly, and just go ahead and pre-plan in that way. I also like the idea that I can track things for my writing with a sticky note, and then track things for cleaning with a sticky note, and track things for something else with a sticky note, and have them in different places and not have to worry about printing out inserts and what size I'm going to use. On the back here, we have the monthly. So for the monthly, it does have a space for tasks on the left, and on the right, you have your check boxes. Up here, you have little dashes. Those are for your weeks of the month. So bear with me. There's a lot of people who always have questions about things like this, and they're new. So we're going to help them out. Okay, I hope I'm in frame. Let me check. Okay, so here is the month of February, and this doesn't always happen, but February is always, well, at least this year is the exception to the rule. So up here, this is a Hobonichi weeks, by the way. It tells you what week of the year this is. So week 5 of the year falls between the days of Monday the 1st through Sunday the 7th. So you have 1 week here, 2, 3, and 4, and it ends exactly on February, the 4th week. Sometimes you will have the last week of the month be divided between 2 weeks. So I'll show you the end of March. So here you have March ending the 31st, and then April. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4 days of April in this week 13 with 3 days of March. So back to February, there are exactly 4 weeks in this month. Normally there are always 4 weeks in the month and then a certain amount of days that are extra. On the monthly, these dashes are meant for the weeks of the month. So you can put like week 5, 6, 7, and 8. And then I think in February there is no extra week because there's only 4, right? But if you have a month where you have a couple of extra days, that's why there's a 5th column here. You can go ahead and put that week in, whatever week it is. Let's say it's week 12. And then usually when I fill out a new one of these, I'll start with week 12 again because there's extra days that fall in that week that are for the next month. I hope that makes sense. If you need me to clarify, I can do it down below. I'm better with words when I get to write them. Anyway, so I have 5 weeks here, even though you might only need 4. Now, if you're like me and you have the struggles where you start off the month strong and you get a lot of things done and then you do absolutely nothing in the middle, you get to the end and you get panicked that you have done nothing in the middle, you get a lot more done on at the end, those last couple of days, you'll definitely need that 5th column because I feel like this column and this column, those are the times when I do the most work. I know I need to work on this middle. It's a little saggy. Then we have a second monthly here for those who do not want to track something multiple times throughout the month. You just want to get it done once. Again, this might be a conference call or package that you send out to a family member once a month, anything else like that in particular. And because you can use these in any planner or journal you have, you can label up here at the top if you like, if this is going to be for writing or if it's going to be for household chores, you can just write it in here or even on the bottom. And the last one I have is the monthly tracker. This was already pre-labeled that and I just left it alone, but you can definitely call this the yearly if you would like, since it has January through December. This also reminds me of the original Alistair method. And so over here to the side, you have tasks and these are very small, but I did bring out this. This is the Dear Lily Designs and it has 3.7, 4 millimeter and 3.55 millimeter. And if you line this up, you will see that it is exactly 4 millimeter. So if you're used to a Hobonichi, it's less, it's 3.7, I believe. So it's a little bit wider than even a Hobonichi. So if you're used to that, I don't think it'll be very hard for you to get used to this. I reserve this mostly for, oil changes, dyeing your hair, things that don't happen every single week, not even every single month, maybe mostly quarterly. So I really love this and I can imagine using it in my writing planner as well, just to track, what months I want to work on a certain project for, and then give myself another quarter for a different project. So this is very versatile as well. And speaking of quarterly, I did make one of those. So here we have quarter 1, 2, 3, and 4. And you can use this any way you would like. You can mix and match things that you want to do maybe for any of these 4 quarters, or you can decide, I just want to focus on quarter 1 and just write a list of things that you want to get done for quarter 1. I just didn't want to make 4 separate ones, if that makes sense. So I went ahead and put all 4 quarters on one Post-it. Okay, zooming out to show you, this is my standard size Morterm. This is new. I haven't done a flip through of this yet, but I wanted to show you this here. So this is the little, I don't know, you can call it like a flap or a window that I usually make in here. And I just cut it to size of this insert here. And I cut it a little shorter. There's literally like, I don't know if you can see that there. I should have done this on camera. Maybe I'll do another one and insert it now. But I leave a little bit of space so that this washi tape has something to hold on to this actual page. And I just washi tape it on both sides and I keep my Post-its on here. Because I washi tape it in and don't wrap it around the insert, it will lay completely flat, which makes me so happy. It won't pop up like a lot of acetate does and then it fights against me and I get angry. This is a dashboard. I don't know who it's by in standard size because this is before they started branding them, but I did make one that can wrap around. I tend to put this clear tape. It's not packing tape, it's just regular clear tape. And I leave a little bit of a space in between. That will also help you if you decide to wrap it around your insert for it to lay flat, as you can see there. But I just have it stuck in here half of it into the dashboard. So these ones are empty because I'm not currently using them, but I'll have them in case I need them for anything. I usually have this planner open while I'm writing in my writing journal or my reading journal, and so I can pull these off of here if I need to put one individually into either of those. Of course, you can always stick them to the dashboard themselves. However, these are the super sticky Post-its, and they leave like a lot of residue behind that I don't particularly care for. So I just try to, use that acetate that I mentioned before and just, washi tape them in and make a little bit of a window. So these are my favorite because I love the colors. Green is my favorite color. I will link down below this particular color scheme. It has a name and I can't remember what it is right now, but it has several greens and a couple of blues, and I love it the most. Also, because people will ask, these are not Post-it brand. I don't believe Post-it makes a craft colored sticky note, or brown, whatever you want to call it. But these I believe were from Daiso. I will try to find the link down below. I did get them on Amazon though, because I've never actually ordered from the Daiso website before. Now on to this last part of the video where I talk about all of your troubleshooting, just in case. These are things that I've learned in the last, week as a professional at this. I don't know what I'm doing. I just throw things together. And remember that these are free, so you're not allowed to, yell at me about them. Anyway, so I went ahead and I printed this template for you, and it has just the squares right here. So the first thing I want to mention is that I do print on 3x3 sticky notes. It says right there. And that is important because I have been getting these sticky notes from the dollar store because I like the color. They're a little bit more muted than the fluorescent. I don't really care for that. It's not who I am anymore. And so I buy them, and they're only one color, and they're literally like $1. However, they're not 3x3 in size. You can see here that they're like 3 by I don't even know. But I couldn't find the cover for them anymore. I probably threw it away. So just be aware that you're getting the right sticky notes because they do come in these interesting sizes that are not going to match up properly. And of course, once you stick it on here, you'll know it should cover the square just a little bit all the way around. I did add some instructions on here. So the first instruction is to print this template first. The second one is to add 3x3 sticky notes to the squares. Now, I only have 4 on here because I wasn't sure if you guys were going to ask me to do a tutorial. And this was the first time I'd ever made them before. And I tried to print on them before and it came out okay, but I was never really interested in doing that at the time. So I'm really new to this. This is just a regular letter-sized piece of paper, and you can fit 6 sticky notes on here, but I was really nervous about them. I was worried that they were gonna get stuck in my printer, so I just did 4. And at the time, I was like, let's just keep it really simple because I know there's a lot of people who get really panicked about printing things and they're not sure how to do it. So next time I do this, if you guys would like me to, and I make something different, I will definitely put 6 to a page. The third step is place this back into your printer. So the best way to learn, if you don't know how your printer feeds paper through, is to just take a piece of paper and put an arrow on it. And usually, like my printers, both of them have a button that allows you to go ahead and feed through one page. And you can see how the arrow ends up. So for instance, my HP printer, laser printer that's new, I have to lay the page in like this. It goes through the printer, it prints on this side and comes up blank. And you get panicked at first. The first time I ever printed anything in it, I was like, where's my print? But then you turn it over, it's on this side. So just make sure that you're putting this back into your printer correctly and that the sticky note part is going in first because you don't want it to catch these loose bits and jam up your printer. I have had no issues and I have been printing the crap out of these things. Also, I'm going to go ahead and upload these separately just because I want you to be able to take what you like and leave what you don't. You might not need quarterly goals or weeklies, so I'm going to put them all individually up. That makes it easier, especially if you're not used to printing things. I don't want you to have to figure out how you only print like page 2 or page 6, if that makes sense. And of course, the last one just mentions to pull up, and I named it swap. That's just Sylvia with a plan, sticky note template, and then print it. So whichever one you would like. And like I mentioned, you can go ahead and print on this same template over and over again. So I recommend using the acetate. If you don't have acetate, another thing you can do if you have a laminator is to go ahead and feed a laminating sheet through, and you can get a clear, you know, faux acetate sheet that way and stick them on there. The last thing I wanted to mention is, just in case this happens, because this is troubleshooting for people who have never done this before, do not mix and match what you have downloaded with what opens in your browser. So for instance, when you open these, they will open in a web browser, and it's totally fine for you to go ahead and print this template and then feed it through your printer and print off of the web browser, whatever, you know, sticky note design you choose onto this. But do not download onto your computer these PDFs and then use the template that has been printed from the browser, because they're not going to match up. I did do that accidentally, which is what I wanted to show you. I did it on purpose. You can see here, hopefully, let me zoom back in, that the monthly is really high on this one, and there's a lot of space down here. And then this one, it printed where this was lower. It wasn't on the page, or the sticky note rather. And then you had a lot of space up here on top. So if you want them to get perfectly centered like this, all you have to do is make sure that you print the template from the web browser, and then you print whatever design you want from the web browser. Or you print this after you've downloaded it, and you make sure that you download any of these designs and print on that. I hope that that makes sense. And I just had a whole panic attack about it. The first time I did this last year, I was like, why aren't they matching up? They were working before. So that is like the last thing that I could probably tell you that might be an issue. But honestly, I haven't had any issues at all with printing on the Post-its. And of course, like I mentioned, these aren't even Post-it brands, and they worked perfectly fine. All right, so that is everything. I hope that these freebies help you with your habit tracking and your goal setting for 2021. I think 2020 was really hard on all of us, and we're still dealing with the aftermath of that year. So yeah, I hope that this finds you in the best of health and it helps you set your goals. All right, so don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I hope that this was helpful. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.